Puff adders, other snakes go and hunt for their prey. Puff adders rely on their camouflage. They lie next to a bush, next to a tree stump, and they ambush their prey. Now sooner or later a mouse or rat comes past, and that's how they catch their prey.
The puff adder, look at that. When he sees you coming, he puffs himself up.
Don't be fooled. It's like a slow-moving snake, just lying there. It relies on its camouflage. This is a snake that strikes the fastest of any snake in the world, and the puff adder can strike at 1/15th of a second. That's lightning fast. Now there's another reason why they bite so many people every year. See, puff adders are also live-bearing snakes. They don't lay eggs. Average female down here in southern Africa will have about 20 to 40 babies at a time. Not a lot. Go up into East Africa, a country like Kenya for instance, you'll find big females there that grows to 1.5 meters. The big female up in Kenya holds the world record, and she had 150 babies. 150 babies, well camouflaged. Predators don't find them that easy, so they're quite common in the areas where you do find them. So look where you're going when you're in the bush. Do not step on a puff adder, do not touch the puff adder, you'll be fine. Okay, let's see whose feet here in the front smells like a rat. No, don't worry. Just want to show you something. Have a nice look at the puff adder's face, or the head of the puff adder. She keeps on bringing her tongue out like this. And the reason for this? All snakes use their tongues to smell. Brings out the tongue, scent particles get stuck to the tongue. Takes the tongue back into the mouth. Now in the mouth, two little holes. The ends of the snake's tongue is split like this. Puts these two ends up in those holes. Sorry. And it touches an organ called Jacobson's organ in there, and Jacobson's organ will tell the snake's brain what the snake's actually smelling. And that's how snakes smell with their tongues. Now, depending from where you find your puff adder, they're usually the ground color of that area. The specific one here comes just from over the road in the big Siberian tiger's cage. That's why she's this black color. Go north of Pretoria, you'll find they're quite light in color. Go to KwaZulu-Natal, you'll have lots of black in them. Eastern Cape, lots of yellow and orange. Just helps to camouflage them in the areas where they stay, so that they can hunt and that predators don't find them. Puff adder.
He wears glasses so don't spit it then in his eyes.
Okay.
His head flares out.
The first thing a cobra will do, it spreads the hood like this, trying to tell me to stay away. I don't listen, snake will bite me, then it's my own fault. The snake did try to warn me. Let's just try something here quickly. Okay. Now if you walk in the bush and you accidentally come upon a snake like this and you're very close, stand dead still, do not move. If you don't move, the snake won't see you as a danger. It will go its way, you can go your way. If you move, the snake reacts on movement, see? Then it will strike. If you're far away from a snake, walk around the snake, keep your eyes on the snake. Snake will go its way, you can go your way. It's only in movies like Anaconda that snakes actually chase after you, okay? Now, everyone just wants to go back into the box. Snouted cobras are usually a brown or a creamish color like this. But you can also find them in a banded phase. And a banded phase snouted cobra will have 7 to 9 yellow cross bands going down the body. Interesting thing about banded snouted cobras, 70% of them are male. Just something interesting. Now, grow to about 1.8 meters. If you're lucky, you still find them over 2 meters. But those big guys are not very common these days. Here's the thing about snouted cobras. Very useful snakes, main prey, mice, rats, rodents. But don't pick up the cobra, okay? Leave the cobra alone. But this is how you can identify a snouted cobra, if it's a snouted cobra or not. Snouted cobras are the only cobras here in South Africa that first will have small scales around the eyes like a pair of glasses, and then they will have 1 or 2 big scales going down to the mouth. Rest of the cobras, Cape cobras, forest cobras, they will have 1 or 2 big scales coming from the mouth up to the eyes. These guys, small scales first. Secondly, you call the snouted cobra, especially in young ones, you'll find that they've got a sharp little nose with a shield over it, and that's why we call them snouted cobras. So up here in the northern parts of the country, this then would be our biggest cobra, growing to just over 2 meters. Go down to the forest of KwaZulu-Natal, you'll find forest cobras there, and the forest cobra can grow to over 3 meters. But up here in the northern parts, this is then our biggest cobra. This guy's got a very, very potent neurotoxic venom. Just once again, neurotoxic venom is the venom that attacks the muscles of your heart and your lungs, relaxes the muscles. So if you don't get medical help, you could die of suffocation, even of a heart attack. Okay. There you have it then, snouted cobra.
You got so many, it must be different compartments in the box.
Snakes of a sighted when it's fully grown. Down here in southern Africa they reach about a length of about 4.5, 5 meters. Reason for this, people kill the nice big guys as soon as they see them. If you go up into the jungles, that's very nice.
Oh no!
The jungles of Africa. It's actually a way of defending itself. Those of you who want to come and have a smell afterwards, you can come and have a smell. If you go up into the jungles in Africa, the big guys there can grow to 6 to 7 meters, like I said. This is a female, that's why she's so difficult. Okay, she's going to shed her skin, so she's a bit grumpy. Now, there you go. Just relax. Interesting thing about pythons and boas. If you look at a python or a boa's face, you'll see they have 2 nostrils on the top, but then in front of these nostrils, you see there's holes there. These holes are heat sensing pits. In other words, even if it's totally dark, these snakes can still find their prey just by picking up the heat of the prey that the prey's body gives off. That's how they find their prey. Interesting thing, pythons and boas are the same family. Difference? Firstly, you find pythons in the old world, like what we say the old world is like Africa and India. Boas more into the new world, South America and North America. Sorry, snakes still have these little hooks. What I use them for now, in the mating season, males will stimulate the females with these little hooks, they tickle them with them. Okay, just winter size. What I'm going to do now, those of you who'd like to touch a live snake, 2 things you need to know first before you can touch the snake. Firstly, when you touch the snake, only stroke down towards the tail, do not come up against the scales.
It doesn't smell actually.
If you go close, you'll smell it, yeah. These are not bad, but anacondas don't go close to the mouth, okay? You see all those teeth
Is it
in
hard to hold it?
To hold this one?
No, to hold.
It's just showing us it's not in a good mood. Okay, there we go now. Watch your feet.
Closing it?
That's how it breathes. That's its.
Nose, basically.
Yeah. They only use their nose just to inhale. Yeah. But that's how they, when they catch their prey.
Just have a good time.